Welcome to the video. I want to talk about a few things and let you know what is going on. This whole video will be done in an interview format and my wonderful wife will be asking the questions. If you have any questions of your own, be sure to put them in the comments section and let's get started.
So when did you start doing food challenges?
I started doing food challenges and putting them on YouTube about 4 years ago. And on January 27th, 2018, it was my very first challenge. Unfortunately with that one, I did lose, but it only made me work harder and push myself more.
How many food challenges have you won?
I currently have 164 food challenge wins throughout the eastern United States, and one of those is in Canada.
So why did you start doing food challenges?
I was struggling with my weight a few years prior to doing food challenges. At my heaviest, I was 265 pounds, and it wasn't until after I held up a pair of my boxers to fold them and they blocked my entire bedroom window that I knew I needed to make some changes. So it was really at that point that I said to myself, if my kids are going to have a dad and my wife is going to have a husband, I really need to make some changes about my life. I immediately went on a starvation diet. I went down to 148 pounds and I was just making stuff up as I go along, just trying to lose that weight. Nothing about my weight loss was healthy at all, and honestly I was just unhappy and completely miserable.
So how long did it take you to lose that 117 pounds?
I don't remember the exact time frame, but it was somewhere around 2 years.
So you said that you were unhappy. Why were you unhappy after losing all that weight?
So the reason I was unhappy while I was doing it is because I was starving myself. I was always hungry. I lied to myself to tell myself I wasn't, but I was just starving. And so afterwards I lost all that weight. I was no longer obese, so that was great. But unfortunately I had some new problems now, which are eating disorders. And it's just miserable. Just every day was just, it was a nightmare. I'd wake up and I would binge eat. And then after that I would feel guilty. And so I'd starve myself for a day, 2 days. And then after that I would binge eat again. And it's just, this was a never-ending cycle.
What did you do to solve the problem of disordered eating?
I needed to find something to help me gain control of my life. So I tried counseling, I tried different diets, I did doctor's visits and they did tests on me to see if any internal problems were going on. Everything was fine. And unfortunately I can't physically exercise, but I tried everything.
Did you find a way to gain control?
The quick answer is yes.
Could you tell us how?
In December 2017, I was on YouTube and I seen a guy doing a food challenge. Now at this time I had no idea what a food challenge was. I just knew that this was pretty cool and really impressive. The name of the guy doing the food challenge was Randy Santel, and the name of the food challenge he was doing was Krish's Kitchen Sink Challenge. Now immediately I said to myself, I'm gonna do this challenge. So I got to work. I started researching what a food challenge was, how to do a food challenge, how to train and practice for it. So at that point, for the next month, I just got to work. And a month later, I did that very food challenge. So I trained all month long. And I did all my prep the day before and the day of. I took the 4-hour car ride all the way down to the restaurant. I had people there cheering me on. I set up my camera equipment and out comes this massive kitchen sink full of ice cream and toppings. There was a firework shooting out of the top of this thing. It was just amazing. So I get to work. I go at it. 30 minutes in, I have a reversal, aka I throw up. And with that comes my very first loss. And so it was a long car ride back home and I was in pain. And at that moment, I can go one of two ways here. I can either give up, and food challenges aren't for me, or I can put in the work and get better. And I really felt that food challenges was gonna be really, really beneficial for my life. Let me cover a few things before we continue. So for a food challenge, you need to have an empty stomach, but more importantly, you need to have empty intestines. I achieved this by doing a liquid stretch 8 hours prior to my food challenge. For me, a liquid stretch is when I consume 12 pounds or 192 ounces of liquid. Now, for me, this consisted of half water and half 0-calorie sports drink, and I would finish all this within 8 minutes. About 5 minutes after that, I'd be sitting on the toilet, and all the solids from my intestines would be forced down and out, and now I am ready for a food challenge. Different people have different ways that they prepare and stretch out their stomachs for a food challenge. During my 3 years of food challenges, I have had less than 10 reversals, and only one of those was from an actual food challenge.
Why did you choose food challenges instead of giving up?
Food challenges requires you to be in complete control of what goes in your body. It really helped me get the discipline I need for self-control. If I have a food challenge on Saturday, that means on Friday I cannot have any solid food. If I did, it would have a negative impact on the food challenge. Now, I started to view food as a tool. I stopped eating food because I was hungry, or I was sad, or bored, or I was happy. The only time I would eat food is when I was training, much like a football player uses a football, or a bodybuilder uses weights.
Did you get hungry?
Hunger became an indicator that I was increasing capacity. And during most of my food challenges, no, I wasn't even hungry a little bit. On days where I wouldn't eat for 2 days in a row, I didn't see it as me starving myself. I seen it as training for the next food challenge.
So, how do you train?
You can go see the different trainings on my channel, but the two techniques I use are max out meals and liquid stretching.
So, what happened to make you want to record this video?
Back on January 4th, 2019, I was doing a max out meal. I was having rice, baked beans, pot roast chicken, and oatmeal. And I finished it in 59 minutes, 26 seconds, and total weight consumed was 18 pounds, 8.9 ounces. And other than being uncomfortable like I normally am, I was having a sharp, excruciating pain in my left abdomen. And I really thought nothing of it at the time and went about my day. I would continue to do 2 max out meals a week, and then on the weekends I did food challenges. During this time, I noticed that my capacity started going down during the max out meals. It made me upset, and at one point I could barely get down 12 pounds in 1 hour. Regular meals like a foot-long sub from Subway, it was starting to be really uncomfortable in my left abdomen area, and just pretty much every time I did a max out meal, I was stopped by excruciating pain in my left abdomen.
What did you do?
I went to the doctors and they did a bunch of different tests on me, a bunch of different scans. They put tubes at all angles of my body. After a few months of this, they came back and they told me that at some point I had torn the abdominal muscles on the left side of my body. And when they healed, they healed tight, and the scar tissue is the reason that the muscle can't expand anymore. And because it can't expand, and it puts that extra strain on the muscles, that's where the pain is from. So I asked them, what can we do about the scar tissue? Because that's the problem here. And they said that unfortunately, with the high risk, low reward, that they are unwilling to do any surgery to remove the scar tissue.
Wow, that sounds really intense. Where did you go from there?
So I met with surgeons, doctors, and physical therapists, and I had a few options. The first was muscle relaxers, and it didn't work. The second was I can try hot packs and massages. It didn't work. The third one is Botox. Yes, I Botoxed my abdomen, and that didn't work. And the last one is to live with it, and that's what I'm doing.
So, with all the options for repair gone, what now?
I have made food challenges in my life, and I wasn't willing to give it up. So I did a max out meal on April 11th, 2019, and I went in with the mindset that it was going to be unbearable. And so I sat there, I had spaghetti with chicken breast and sauce, and about 10 minutes into this max out meal, I had pain in my left abdomen that was like a sharp pole being stabbed right through it. And so I stood up, I went over to the counter, I leaned on it, and I slowly began to drink water. And as I did this, the pain only got worse and worse. I had to clench my jaw, so stop anything from coming back up. And I was absolutely determined to push through this pain and get a real max out meal in. So, with my eyes shut tight, tears falling down my face from pain, but also from fear, I punched 911 in my phone just in case, and I continued on. What felt like eternity, but only was a few chugs of water later, I had a feeling in my left abdomen, and I can only think to describe it as a balloon that's crumpled up and is sticking to itself, and then it inflates. The balloon pops open, and then it just inflates. And that's the feeling I had in my left abdomen, and it was followed by a wave of heat took over my entire body. And then the pain stopped. That sharp, crippling pain, it just stopped. And I took a deep breath. I wiped the sweat and tears off my face. I sat back down, and at 56 minutes and 35 seconds, I had a new personal best of 19 pounds, 4 ounces. And obviously I was thrilled. For the next 2 weeks, my left side, my abdomen there was sore. The entire time just sore. And I could only imagine that I either tore the scar tissue during that max out meal, or I tore a muscle that the scar tissue was connected to. Either way, my stomach expanded. Well, about a week later, doing another max out meal, and the sharp pain is back, and again, I'm down to about 12 pounds stomach capacity in a 1 hour time limit.
It sounds like it was really hard to handle. How did you deal with the unfixable injury?
I was not ready to give up food challenges, and so I continued to struggle and push through the constant pain. Oftentimes I would have tears from the pain, and I absolutely dreaded max out meals. I dreaded liquid stretches, but I continued to push myself for 2 years. And the reason why is because I didn't want to be fat again. I didn't want to lose control of my eating. That's what Food Challenges has done for me. I didn't want my kids to lose their dad. I didn't want my wife to lose her husband. I didn't want to be fat again. All because I can't control my eating. That vision of me holding on my underwear and they block out an entire window, it stays with me.
Okay, the question that everyone's wondering, do you still do food challenges?
All right, so during my January 2021 Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee Food Challenge Tour, which just finished posting last month, I had enough of the almost daily suffering. And so during that tour, I knew that was going to be it for me. And on January 25th, 2021, I did my very last food challenge. It was almost 3 years exactly of me doing food challenges and put them on YouTube. And during the 3 years, I got 164 wins and I got 2 losses. I did go back and I beat those 2 challenges that beat me. So they're part of the 164. And I'm going to put the links to them 2 challenges that beat me in the description in case anybody wants to check them out.
Well, what have you been doing since your last challenge?
Well, during this past year, I have been training my mind. I've worked every day strengthening my mind. Food Challenges has given me so much of the discipline I need to have control over myself. Because of it, my eating I feel like I have complete control over it. And because of that, my body and weight are both doing awesome.
So I'm sure people are going to be wondering, can we still watch your videos, and are you still on YouTube?
I do release videos trying to help other people with their own eating. I put those out on both TikTok and Instagram. The links are going to be in the description of this video. As for my YouTube, people can still watch my YouTube. I don't think there's going to be any new videos, but I'm still going to leave them up, trying to help other people beat these challenges that I did, but also some just entertainment. I have enjoyed this whole experience on YouTube. I want to thank you all so much for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I am on to the next part of my life, and I will see you.